son, where'd you find this?
That's how you know somebody doesn't respect you. They listen to reply, not to be understood. They cut you off. They minimize what actually matters to you. They laugh at your boundaries, and then they call you sensitive when you try to hold the line. They show up late, they cancel last minute, forget the things you've told them, because in their world, your time, your energy, even your voice aren't a priority. They're just an option. You see, there are two kinds of people. Those who adjust when they realize they've actually hurt you, and those who expect you to adjust so they don't have to change. You don't need to be disrespected loudly to be disrespected deeply. Sometimes you'll see it. It's just in their tone, in their patterns, in the silence after you're known. Respect isn't what they say when they're watching. It's how they act when they think you'll tolerate it.
The flow insane, take my spot, so the range, shoot my shot with perfect aim, 3rd degree, that perfect flame, ain't no sleep, that's the game, oh so southern, that's the slang, when they see me, that's the main, chasing checks and fly like planes, big old stick, I bought a cane, flick my wrist and bought the ring, I'm so boss, we're not the same, paid the cost and kept the change, now I'm walking Hall of Fame, and I reside in the cloud, grand wishes, with these bitches, taking pictures with the crowd, and I'm out.
Hold on. Let me get this right. All right, get this right. What up? Happy Mother's Day weekend. Peace, blessings, glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. I hope all is well with each and every single one of you. I appreciate you for being here this weekend, this Saturday evening, more specific. You see the title. We're going to chop it up. To be honest with you, before I go there, I want to say shout out to Sydney. Yesterday we spoke about the hantavirus, and I want y'all to be safe because based off of the discussion we had yesterday, the likelihood of it coming to your neighborhood might be small, but I wouldn't really put it past them to have lied and manipulated the actual numbers just off of the strength that they lied to us about how many soldiers have been seriously injured over the last few months messing around in a war that we didn't sign up for. So if media doesn't do anything, they're definitely going to manipulate the facts all the time. It never fails. But shout out to Sid because she gave some great takes, broke down some interesting facts that even I myself didn't know about. And I really just want people to be conscious of their health. You know what I'm saying? So if you didn't get the chance to check out that stream yesterday, go run it up, especially if you're concerned about viruses and airborne pathogens and all that stuff, and you're like a neat freak, or you just don't want nobody to get sick around you. You know, it's just being responsible. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm going to bring up on the screen first, so you'll see where we're about to go with this. This is a list that we're about to go over. I'm waiting on him to pull up and turn his camera on so we can do this. Sports Illustrated put out this list. I don't know if this is their official list in this order, but if it is, yeah, I don't necessarily agree with it. And there's a few names I'm probably going to pull off of here and replace. But we're gonna chop it up. Let me bring them up real quick. Hold on. Is this the one? I don't think this is the one. This is the one. There we go. All right. Yeah. What's up?
I see the big separation, man. Nice separation right there, man. Shout out to everybody. Happy Father's Day for all the ladies. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend, y'all time. This is y'all flower. Give them all their flowers that they deserve this weekend.
Right on, right on. Um,
It's very important, man.
yeah, it is. It is. So what's up, man? What's the word? How we feeling?
Oh man, I mean, I'm nice, man. It's been a great day. We had a little rain early in the week, but I mean everything looked up and up today, man. You know, a little cloudy, but nice day, nice.
You sent me this, sent it to me for a reason. I don't know what your reason is for it. I don't even know where we're going with this. But I do know that based off of what I've seen on here, I clearly don't agree with a lot of it. To the people that are watching, if you are currently or former fans of this sport, I would love to know what y'all think about this at any juncture of this stream in the comment section afterwards or even during it. Do you agree with this list? So what was the point of you sending me this? Let's start there.
Okay, so I was gonna ask you, do you mind? Could you put the list up? Could we look
The
at the
list
list?
the list is right there. Just right
But
on the
you can't show
screen.
it. You
I
can't show it
can't
on the screen.
It's on the screen right now.
It ain't popping up.
I can see it. You probably can't see it. That's weird. I don't know. Maybe the people can see it.
Yeah. Well,
But I'm looking at it right now. So
all right. Well, what is it's? It was Sports Illustrated. It was top 20. It was a top 20 Sports Illustrated list for the greatest of all time. That's what the list is all about. Yeah, and the reason why I wanted to share that with you because it touched into the careers and the history of a lot of performers that we all grew up watching. Anybody that grew up in looking at the sport back in the day, 90s, 80s, 2000s, however you want to, whichever way you want to go. Whenever you entered fandom, you can kind of look over that list right there that I sent you and kind of see where your performer get their flowers from. I mean, do you think everybody got their flowers? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's people on there that's not on there that should have been on there. I'm gonna say that.
oh, that's for sure. That's for sure. I can read it off. I mean, that's not a big deal. Uh I'll start from 20 and go up to 1. Um so starting at number 20, we got Becky Lynch, Mick Foley, Chris Jericho, CM Punk, Andre the Giant, Randy Orton, Edge, Roddy Piper, Kurt Angle, Randy Savage, Bruno at the 10 mark, Brett, Shawn, Michaels, HBK, Triple H, Undertaker at number 6, Roman Reigns at number 5, Cena at 4, The Rock at 3, Hulk Hogan at 2, and Stone Cold at 1. So let me do this. Becky Lynch should not be on this list. Becky Lynch, she has a good career. From what I remember, the 4 horsewomen changed the landscape of the women's division. It was already starting to change a little bit, but they made it more focused on wrestling once they got over there. But during that phase, Becky Lynch was not really moving like that. She was cool, but she wasn't really on my like radar in terms of the women's division. You had too many other names at that particular point in time. It was only after she went into this, I'm a be masculine and I'm gonna act like a dude, picked up that attitude and that swag. That was when she really started getting recognized and taken more serious. Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair was already ahead of her in titles, in promotion, in the ring. Even the other one, I can't even think of her name right now for some reason. It was like 5 or 6 other females that was doing their thing way before Becky was. Becky picked up afterwards and she started doing pretty good. She got in there with Ronda. She won a couple championships, but to me, there's other names. If I was going to put a woman on here, there's other names I would have put on here before her, period. So yeah, I would take her off and I would put somebody else in her spot. And if I'm being honest, if anybody was going to be on there as a woman, I would have preferred it had been Charlotte. And I'm not really a big fan of Charlotte, but in terms of credentials and championships, she's definitely excelled her or exceeded her by a long shot. So I'm gonna stop there.
All right. So you picking Charlotte to be on the list over Becky. Well, I mean that's not too bad of an answer. I mean, you just spoke on the 4 horsewomen, and they really started, new era with women getting more time and getting more opportunities and stuff. So I mean, I think you was trying to mention Bailey. You didn't mention her, but she
That's
the
what I
other
was talking
four
about.
four horsewoman that you forgot to mention. But yeah, she
No,
she started it too.
I didn't forget to mention her. I just forgot her name.
And yeah, I get it. I see why they mention her. I mean, you talk about championships. The reason why she on this list and Charlotte is not on the list, even though she's the daughter of Ric Flair, is because she was more uh she had a better connection to the fans than Charlotte did. Charlotte Charlotte just won championships, because that's all she knew, because that's what they said her dad did. But it's not just about the championships. You gotta connect with the audience. Charlotte had a hard time connecting with the audience. She got skills though, skills to pay the bills, no doubt. Charlotte get it done in the ring. It ain't no doubt about that. She top tier when it come to that. But when it come to engaging and outside of that title picture, yeah, but in my opinion, if I had to put a woman on here, if there had to be a woman on here, which I don't even agree that a woman should have been on here, it would have had to been China, because she was the only one that actually was believable in kicking men ass in the attitude era. And she had that experience of doing it. So that's if we had to go there. But other than that, I wouldn't even put a woman on here. Actually, in my opinion, I believe the women should have their own list separate from the men at this point, because of what the Four Horsewomen did for the industry. That's my opinion. I don't even think a woman should have been on this list. But going up the list, it's a few changes that I would make. I would definitely make a change with Triple H. He's too hot. He need to come down a little bit. I don't think he definitely ain't better than Shawn Michaels to me. So if he's over Shawn Michaels, that's not right, you know. And then when you go to the top of that list, it get a little accurate right there. I mean, I'm not arguing the top to, I think that you can put it in maybe another order if people want to, but you can't really argue about those names that's up there at that part, because it can go in any order, But yeah, I mean, I'll definitely take a few people out for sure.
I can definitely argue, and I disagree with that top five, top six list. I I don't believe that Becky should be on it. I don't believe a woman should be on this list specifically. I do agree that China, if anybody should be there, we've already done a woman's list, so we don't have to rehash that. So instead of me replacing Becky with Charlotte or anybody like that, let me just go ahead and put, I don't know, maybe Kurt Angle there. No, he's already on there. He's at 12. Let me put Chris Benoit on there. I put Chris Benoit on there, even though I know people got their feelings towards how things went with that. But regardless, I'm not even gonna mess around with that. Matter of fact, I got him there, and then I would take Mick Foley off. Brock Lesnar needs to be on there. I don't know how the hell he's not on there. Uh, I'm not mad at Bruno being there. As far as the order and the number, CM Punk shouldn't be at 17. Orton shouldn't be at 15. Edge shouldn't be at 14. Roman Reigns should not be at no fucking 5 over no Undertaker. Y'all disrespectful as shit. I'm not putting Hulk Hogan up there next to Austin and The Rock. I'm gonna bring him back down to maybe like 4 or 5. Damn. See, Here's my thing, right? Because you had said something about not connecting with the audience and all that. Okay, if that's the case, then how do I say this? Becky shouldn't be on here. She definitely shouldn't have been on there because she wasn't, like I said, she wasn't even hot like that until she started acting like a dude. Put it this way, all right, I'm gonna move Orton up to 8. I'm gonna move Brett up to 6. I will bring Reigns down to 9. Kurt Angle 10. I'm replacing Randy Savage with Ultimate Warrior. And I can't see Jericho being on here. I don't know why Jericho's on here. I'm not saying he don't got a good case to be on here, but he would be like 21, 22 around there. He's nah. I'm trying to think. Undertaker should be at 3 or 2 for real. I'm gonna put him at 2. Yeah, I'm gonna put him at 2. See, there's still names that I can't even think of right now. You're gonna have to come back to me. I gotta register some stuff. But
I mean, I think we can really organize this. I mean, I know you said you put it up there, but if you had it on the screen so everybody like we could see which order and who can come on and all that. But yeah, it's some wrestlers that definitely need to go ahead and come off. And it ain't no knock. Like I would say a couple of them that's on the list is honorable mentions. Wouldn't you agree? I give them some honorable mentions. I mean, some of them people only won the damn belt one time, but they on the list. They high as shit on the list. They ain't have a lot of main events. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not going to knock their career like they was awful. You know, that stuff come down to booking and marketing and all of that. So I'm not going to do that to the people that's on the list. But yeah, Becky being on the list, I'm gonna just say this for Becky. For her being on the list, it should say that she pretty much represented the division the best in that company. You know what I'm saying? From what they want. You know, all of it, not just championships, but mic work, you know what I'm saying? Attire, theme song, like everything that they want, you know. And she had a longer tenure than the people that we mentioned that could be on there. But I see. I mean, I'm not really mad if they had to put a woman on there. I'm not like she's she's definitely in my Mount Rushmore. Like if we did a women's list, Becky Lynch is in the Mount Rushmore of all time. You could put her wherever number you want to put her at, but she's there. She did enough for the business. So I'm not gonna manure on her. I just don't think she should be in there amongst the guys. That's all. But far as the list, I do agree with you with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar not on that list, that's atrocious. That's atrocious if Brock Lesnar not on that list. All the stuff he broke the Undertaker streak and he not on the damn list. Nah. So as you say, Andre the Giant on the list. Andre the Giant is on this list, right?
yep, at 16.
Then you got CM Punk and Edge. You got CM Punk and Edge.
Edge at 14, CM Punk at 17.
So I'm looking at them two, CM Punk and Edge, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, they were champions. I mean, I'm not saying that they weren't, but have they ever really been a real face, and carried the company like some of the other names that's on there? See, that's when I kind of, you know, start ranking them, you know what I'm saying? Because if you want to say championships, you can't base this list based off championships. It's championships matter though. I'm not gonna lie, the championships does matter to be on here, but I just don't think it should be the only criteria. I think it should be a combination of things to make somebody be on here. So when I look at CM Punk and Edge, mm, if they going to be on there, they need to be down there. They need to be a little down, a little further down. I already got my top five. I don't know if you want to run yours down, but I think if you want to, we could do the first 10 and then do the final 10 if you want to do it like that.
You stay trying to get me to recap my list, and I already done did my list before. This will
No,
be
what
like
I
my eight.
no, what I'm saying is we going off the list that we looking at now. I can't see it, you can, but I'm just saying the people that's on there that need to come off. That's what I'm saying. You want people to come off and you want people to come down and go higher. So that's what I'm saying.
Well, I got it in this order, starting from 1 to 5. Austin, Taker, Michaels, Brett, Hogan, Austin. What's that? One more. Uh, I'm gonna go ahead and put Cena in that last spot. That's my 5 for top
And
5.
see, uh Cena is this generation's GOAT. When they start throwing out the GOAT thing and all of that, they ain't never I don't think they mentioned that prior to his era. I don't think they were ever having GOAT debates in the 90s and in the 80s. I mean, it was just it was greats, but I don't think nobody said that this one right here is, this. You know, um, but I will say he do deserve to sit amongst the GOAT. I don't feel like he is the GOAT, but he does deserve he does deserve a seat at the table. He deserved that. So my five, we could probably change as time go on, but right now my five is I got John Cena at 5. John. I got him at 5. At 4, I got The Rock. The Rock comes in number 4. Number 3, I got Dead Man Inc. I got Undertaker, Big Evil. Number 2, I got the Immortal Hulk Hogan. And at the number 1 spot, the number 1 stunner, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, that's what I know they got right. But I wouldn't be, because I watched both eras, I wouldn't be mad if it flipped the other way around, because Stone Cold and Hulk Hogan really did, to me, did the most for the business. So you can really go either way. Hulkamania was up there too. So either way, hey, you know what I'm saying? Any one of them could be the GOAT, even though I feel Stone Cold deserved to be the GOAT on this list.
Your phone was breaking up when you was naming your list because I heard 5 and 4. I didn't hear 3. I heard 2 and 1. What was your 3?
I'm gonna say it again. I got Cena. Cena at 5. I got The Rock at 4. I got Taker at 3. I got Hogan at 2, and I got Austin at 1. That's my top 5.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Now after that top 5, it could shift because um I gotta give Roman Reigns at 6 because he nipping at the heels to get in there. I know he way down on your list, but the man got 11 main events. So I gotta look at that to see if he can keep that up.
Well, it's not difficult to keep up when you're not really pushing or building anybody else.
I mean, he's the one. I'm just saying he's the one doing it now. And then I got to look at it's tough because I mean Bruno need his flowers, but the only thing about Bruno, and he was great, is that he get missed in these big debates because of the error. We talked about it before. His error wasn't like these other errors. That's the only thing. The man had the belt for 8 years, bro. Come on.
So what's the debate? The hell you talking about?
The debate is if that man had that belt that long, you know what that mean? That mean the company, it took them almost 10 years to find somebody that's built enough to beat him. That's a long time without a star. So I mean, when I talk about, and I ain't saying he wasn't good and great. I ain't saying that because I didn't really watch him, but um, he just didn't have somebody to push him like how we could talk about the other ones. He ain't had that.
Shit. I'm not mad at Bruno. Bruno, I don't agree with that being at 10. I would rather him be at 6 than 10. That's crazy. But because here's the thing, man. When Bruno was doing his thing, the creatives was different. Their vision for the company was different. The way that they were entertaining the audience was different. Everything wasn't sexualized when Bruno and them was doing their thing. It was very, very limited. You didn't have the puppy era and the Jello fights and all that crap. They didn't, the storylines that they had then were nowhere near what the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression era was.
See,
So I don't.
before Bruno, I mean, yeah, before when Bruno was doing his thing, it was in the Vince McMahon father's era, man. His dad was the owner. He ran that stuff with Bruno. And back then it wasn't no sports entertainment. It wasn't until Bruno got out of there and then they changed it, made it glow. It wasn't even global. It wasn't none of that. The only thing that was probably the big thing with Bruno is that he kept that belt and he kept on wrestling in what Madison Square Garden. I mean, outside of Madison Square Garden, you don't really know no other great place, no other good venue to book. It wasn't no other arena that you can book his matches for people to come out and see. I'm not saying he ain't do his thing. It's kind of like when I talk about basketball and stuff like that. The urge just was different. He just ain't have enough around him to push him like the other people. So they really used him as like he was just the main attraction to get everybody. He was the only draw for a long time, bro. It wasn't nobody else. They didn't come to see nobody else. So they built him up, and then when he finally lost, that person became, who they wanted to see. But before that, it was just they only came out to see him. It wasn't nobody else they wanted to see.
You can't blame him for that though. That's not his fault. And then secondly, what you're trying to say is because he had an easier title run, because that's basically what you're saying, that he doesn't deserve credit for this list as much as everybody else that's on here.
I'm not gonna say that because he don't get forgotten in history. He's a part of the history. I'm just saying is he just get punished. I guess you can call it punishment for the error that he wrestled in. He can't help that. That was his error. I mean, they call it the dinosaur because it was way back in the day. I mean, he ain't have. I mean, you know how you got everybody now. It was small. He might have had maybe another partner or whatever, but it wasn't nobody when he was doing his thing with that belt. It wasn't nobody that they had. Maybe Andre the Giant, if you want to throw him in there. Maybe Andre at best. That was known, bro. Ain't nobody. They didn't know nobody else. There wasn't nobody as famous as Bruno Sammartino. No one at that time until they built more people. That's what I'm saying.
I disagree. 8 years, you're never coming off the list. In matter of fact, you should never be anywhere below 6. For real. Bruno should always be in that conversation forever. I don't care if it was the Stone Age, my nigga. What he did, that will never be done again. And
unfortunately, it don't have to be. It don't have to be like that no more. Because of Bruno paid the way. So it don't have to be that way no more because we got more stars and more people to come see.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You're not seeing those more stars. Because you know damn well every single person on these rosters, they're not getting pushed. They're not getting the same level of attention as certain folks. So everything is different, bro. Wrestling is not what it used to be at all.
And it wasn't no such thing as for Bruno, it wasn't really no such thing as sports entertainment. Like it wasn't no storylines like that with him. It wasn't no talking on the mic for 20 something minutes. It wasn't none of that. His whole draw was the art of wrestling, and people wanted to see him do these moves and all that. That was the booking. That was the whole picture. But it's all good. He's respectable. And you can't name all these other dudes without starting with Bruno. It just started with Bruno. That's all. So he should definitely get his flowers. I'm not saying he shouldn't, but his error was I'm gonna say that was the weakest. He didn't have a lot of competition like Hogan and Austin and all. He ain't had that. It took a while. He ain't had no competition until he got older.
So who has the second weakest error?
The second, I'm gonna say if we talking errors, if I'm gonna put Bruno at the first, I'm gonna have to go the new generation era because they was in a transitional period where they was trying to build some new people to get to the attitude. So it was only they had a few people, but it wasn't a deep roster. They didn't have a lot. It was a couple guys. That's back when the clique was together and all that. They had a few people that they was working with building, but they had a lot of imposters. Doink the Clown and all them. Like, they ain't nobody pushing Doink. Come on.
Bro. Yeah. I knew you was gonna lie. This era is the weakest era. Hands down. It's Bruno's, this one, that one. The
What
other
is that
two,
one?
the one that you're referring to. Because Doink is a fucking legend. What the fuck you talking about? Doink, nobody was checking for Doink. Everybody know who Doink is. Even
They
if
they
you
wasn't
thought,
pushing him.
even if they wasn't really pushing the nigga, Doink the Clown will always be on everybody's mind. You say Doink, people know who Doink is. He wasn't the Brooklyn Brawler, my nigga. He was actually
He wasn't far from it. Huh? He wasn't far from it though. He might not have took a rack of L's, but it wasn't. He didn't get a lot of wins even.
and then you're saying that they didn't have people. Then are you on crack?
If you remember, okay, the new generation era was a transitional era because they was trying to transition from Hulk Hogan, man. If you remember your history, Hulk Hogan ran the 80s, just in case you ain't know that. He ran the whole 80s, him and Ric Flair. So by the time Hogan was done, they was in a transitional era.
So
Hogan,
who we have in this transition? We had let me think. Owen Hart, Bret Hart, British Bulldog.
Keep going.
What's my man name? Mr. Perfect.
You remember Hakushi?
Yes.
Yeah, he was before his time type of person, type of dude. He was before his time. But I'm just saying, what I'm saying is they had guys from that era like Sean. Let me just go Sean and Brett that they can trust. Then of course you had Taker, because Taker been there for the longest. You could trust them. But I'm talking about the newbies. They didn't know what to do with them. You see what I'm saying? You can't have the same match every night.
I didn't name newbies, nigga. I named credible people. What are you talking about?
No, what I'm saying, you know, understand what I'm trying to say is, once you have a what you're naming and what I'm naming, we're naming established guys. They already know who they are. That don't count. What I'm saying is the transition is, did you make the established people create new people? And that's why I say it's called a transition, because that's all you had after Hogan Road. All you had was the residuals of Hogan. That was it.
Brett is not a residual. Owen is not a residual. The Hart Foundation is not a residual. What are you talking about? You forget about
all of that was in the Hulk Hogan era. The golden era was the Hulk Hogan era. You had Hulk Hogan, you had Macho Man, because Macho Man on this list, Macho Man was a top dude. Ultimate Warrior, if he not on this list, he was a top dude. And then you had Andre. You know what I'm saying? And then you had the Rockers. So Shawn Michaels was with the Rockers. That's in the golden era. Bret Hart was with the Hart Foundation, right? That's in the golden era. So what you mean? What are you talking about? They are residuals.
I don't count that though.
But it counts because they didn't ever get a damn belt until Hogan left. How about that? So it does count. They ain't get no title. Shawn Michaels and them ain't get nothing until Hogan finished. Then they got their shot. And then you had people like Razor Ramon came on, Diesel, Sid. You could see it, and then Yokozuna.
The Crush.
They all right.
IRS.
There you go. So it's coming back to you. It's coming back. Yeah, IRS was in that era too. IRS was there. Let me name a character that you had. Henry the Godwin out here having mud. Come on, man, mud matches and stuff. Like that stuff was whack.
Really,
And to be honest,
really, really, it wasn't
and
great.
that's huh?
You telling me none of that was interesting to you?
No, it wasn't because you had top guys like we named. You had top guys like we named, but as we went on, they could they matter of fact that's how they lost the Monday Night War. Because what happened? Because we talking about the residuals after Hogan. So what happened when Hogan left? He took what? He ended up taking Razor and Diesel with him. Macho Man went over there. Everybody that was with him started going over there. And then what happened? You had those few people that we just named. That was it. They couldn't. There wasn't enough draws. They didn't have enough drawing power. So that I call that. That's why I call it the weakest. The second weakest because they didn't have an identity. Now, when the identity came was the attitude era. Then they kicked their ass. If you follow me, because now they had an identity because they changed a little bit.
I
But
still,
th- but that time before that, they was getting their ass whooped by WCW.
I mean, as far as ratings, maybe, but I still disagree. I still think this era is the most garbage by far. Yeah, yeah, they got the athletes. You got more women wrestling. You got more belts and things of that nature. But the creative in this era right now compared to that one, I would prefer that transitional era over this shit. That's just me personally. Like you could disagree and all that, but I would rather see the Bushwhackers and all of those folks. Shit, Vader and them. Yeah, I would prefer that over this shit. That dude, that was walking around with
Bam Bam Bigelow.
yeah, like come on, man. I'm not taking that. I'm not taking. Oh, what's this name? The Bamas that was with Kurt Angle, the one that was supposed to pretend to be his son, and then the Gable. Gable was teamed up with that heavy dude that got in that love triangle with Mandy Rose. I'm not taking him over no Bam Bam Bigelow. I'm not taking no in matter of fact, I'm not taking Nia Jax over no fucking Luna Vachon. And Luna Vachon wasn't really a wrestler like that for real. Just Nia Jax just injured Paige.
Oh yeah. That is facts. Split her head open.
Like, come on, man. This era is the most injury prone. They lack the most creative, but they got the most talent. I think they have the most talent that I've seen in forever, but they don't know what to do with none of it.
I mean, I'll give you the creative, but that's as far as I go because the way I look at this era, this is the deepest it ever been, especially with women. A lot of them, they ain't never had a roster as deep as this one, and then they never had NXT like everything you seeing with this era come from that branch, that NXT branch, and that's what we seeing. Everything after the PG John Cena era, that's when they came in and took over. So uh yeah, this roster deep. I would say that, and they just lack a little. They lack direction a little bit. They lack a little direction. I mean, I did like the old uh the bloodline storyline, but it haven't been a storyline um since that made me get that much invested than the first time. That storyline with them, with Paul Heyman, they haven't created nothing that can sustain the audience. They always start something and then drop it, and I think that's where they make their mistakes at. If they just invest a little longer, they got enough talent to carry it through. But that's
Unpopular
what.
opinion.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. My bad.
No, I'm just gonna say that's where they go wrong at. If they had I'm gonna say if this era had the attitude right and Vince Russo, hey, it's a good chance this era can really rival attitude. But they don't have that writing. They just got the talent, but they don't have the stories and all of that. That's what that compelling story. They don't have that.
Unpopular opinion. I think NXT is probably the worst thing that happened to the company. And this is
Why
why
you
I
say
say,
that?
and this is why I say this, because you're spreading yourself thin, right? Sure, in hindsight, having a larger roster means more matches. It means you have a chance to develop more stars, and you can weed out the people who really want to be here and don't. But you're spreading your team thin. How are you supposed to write for all these fucking people? And then on top of that, write for the main shows. So you're doing shows for the development part. Then you got to go over here and do it for Raw and SmackDown. Like, how do you muster up the creative process enough on a consistent basis to be able to spread it evenly to everybody and give them all a fair shake? You can't. It's impossible. And I've been thinking about that for a while now, and it wasn't until you said something I'm like, you know what? That would explain a little bit more why a lot of these people aren't getting the chance to really showcase what they can do. Is because you don't have enough time to really focus on any individual person for very long, because you got to constantly jump from this to that. Nah, no. But that's just my personal opinion. Somebody else might disagree with that, and that's fine. I just don't understand it. You say they have a deeper roster, and I'm looking at this list right here, and according to this list, that deep roster don't really mean nothing, because most of these folks are from when we was growing up. Matter of fact, all of them. None of these people are from now except for Cena and Reigns, and you got what, Punk and whatever. But it's like, come on, man. If this roster was so much better than the older one, why I'm not seeing uh
They
I'm not seeing certain faces up here. And I'm not saying that none of these people are good enough, but you're not going to really get a chance to see them if they're constantly getting fired, released from the company, having to go somewhere else to start over. The nigga Cody Rhodes had to leave WWE to go somewhere else to get his brand up. Why? Why couldn't he do it there? Because when he had him on the main roster, when he had him on WWE, he had this nigga dressing like Goldust. Nigga had to go somewhere else to do his thing, and now they want him back. Y'all spreading your creative team too thin. You don't have a chance to really breathe.
Well, you did say something in the beginning of this when you was talking about number 20, Becky Lynch. Now, we all know, if you followed the way her personality, the way her gimmick is, because it's all a gimmick. The way her was appealing to the audience. And as she finally figured out what was appealing, she flicked that switch. And not everybody, not every performer on this list took it upon themselves to flick that switch and change and show that attitude and get over to the crowd that this is who I'm really am. I'm not trying to be this no more. And I think going with Cody Rhodes, he didn't really have the intestinal fortitude to do that at the time. He was going off of what they told him he gonna be. You got to take a risk. You got to bet on yourself. So I'll still salute him, even though he had to leave, but he still betted on himself, and that's why I'm gonna just say it right now. That's why I believe if he ain't, when he's done, he's gonna be on this list. If he should really almost should really by now anyway. He should be on this list, Cody. And look what he had to do to get on the list, because what he was doing before, he would have never sniffed this list. He wouldn't have never sniffed this list, never. He would have never got no main event spot. He would have been like him and Dolph Ziggler and all them. They would have been in the mid cards forever. They would have never climbed that ladder. They would have never got up there. So you got to bet on yourself, and not too many people have done that. They haven't. I could probably think about 5 people that probably just took a gamble and say, "Look, I'm gonna do it this way," and then they got over, and then the fans went crazy for them.
Yeah, man. I don't know, bro.
I mean, we ain't even mentioned Cesaro. He had potential. He ain't on this list. It's a lot. It's a lot of people from different eras. I'm gonna say this: if you go back to the golden era, I would say Hulk Hogan was the main character. Everybody knew that if you watched it. He was the main character. He was the one that the kids and all that got behind. But outside of that, everybody that came down that curtain it was like a household name, and they ain't even have to have a belt to be the household name. So I think that's what NXT should be representing. They are trying to build household names so people can kind of remember them, instead of everybody. The only way you get remembered if you holding the belt up. So they trying to. That's how it was. So they trying to get it back like that. You don't have to hold the belt up to be remembered.
I never.
Even though you need to hold one day.
As far as I'm concerned, you could be on this list and never have held a title.
I don't agree with that.
I think you can. I might have to ask that. I'm gonna do
I don't agree with that at all.
I'm gonna do a poll on that one, because
is Rey Mysterio on this list?
No.
See what I'm saying?
Eddie Guerrero not on there either.
Yeah. So,
but there's people that were better without a title than people that actually had the title. To me, And it like Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn never held that title. Shit.
But
Razor.
on the list though,
Nah, uh, he wouldn't have made the list. No,
on the list, I mean, like I said it before. Championships is not everything, but it does matter, bro. To be on this list, you have to
the,
have won something.
the way that you describe it is if every nigga that's on the list, they basically had to carry the show on their back.
Yeah, I mean, when you talking about eras, bro. Matter of fact, to be honest, it's at least we in the seventh era of wrestling. So if you go off all those eras, it should be it should be at least 10 or better. The top 10, all of them should be champions. That's enough. That's seven eras. That's enough. That's enough people. If the main person couldn't do it, then it would have like if Roman Reigns right now, the man, you got Cody. If Cody can't do it, you got Rollins. Like if Hogan can't do it, you got Warrior. Like that. Like it's enough people to carry the company. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have it's more than one person. Can't all this be just one.
You have more faith in these people than I do.
Well, I'm gonna say this: it's not like it is with Bruno, because Bruno ain't had nothing. He probably wanted to lose the belt the first 2 years. You never knew that man. He had to keep holding the belt because they couldn't find nobody to go over.
Shit, wow, this nigga was riding. He was on his Ric Flair. Why would he want to give that up? He making the most money. He get to go everywhere, and he's the main attraction. Why would he want to give that up?
He the main attraction. Cause I mean that he was busy. I mean they hit the schedule that they wanted him on was demanding. If you the main attraction, that mean they want everybody keep looking at you. He probably like, dang. At some point, y'all gonna find somebody. So when they end up finding superstar Billy Graham, the man had the belt almost 10 years. I'm pretty sure he was glad to do the favors for a superstar. Here you go, superstar. You take it now. You see what I'm saying? It shouldn't have been that long, bro. I mean, it's a hell of a record and all that, but come on.
With that shit, with that logic, then there's people right now that shouldn't have held the belt as long as they did.
Um, yeah. I mean, if you got enough people around the orbit, yeah, I agree. The belt should go around. If you got enough game players that can carry the company, yeah.
And
You
you
don't.
did. You absolutely did. And you know exactly what I'm talking about too. There's no
Well,
way in the world. There's no way in the world.
when it was time to do it, it got done. And
It been done. It should have been done before that. It didn't.
not necessarily.
It shouldn't have took Cody coming back.
Well, it did. I'm going off what it did, and right now, if you've been paying attention ever since then, he's been held at higher regard. Hell, he ain't looked at Goldust brother no more. He looking at they look at him like Dusty.
Exactly. Why?
Yeah,
Because
and he was never looked at like that before.
because he had to leave the company and get his respect before he came back.
He
Otherwise,
was
they would have if he would have stayed, this wouldn't be what it is.
he was in the shadow of Dusty until he did what he did. But I mean, because they gave him that, now you can't go back down. You got to remain at that level because if you drop if you drop just a little bit, guess who we got behind you? We got somebody that did it for 4 years, so it's easy to go back. You see what I'm saying? We got
That's-
somebody that had a level for 4 years.
I'm not trying to go down that road. I just want to stick to the list here because
Okay,
the
you
greatest.
said Kurt Angle. You said Kurt Angle, Macho Man on there. I mean, you got to get. Only thing I can say about the list is that you got to give respect to all the errors. That's why I even say Bruno. You got to put. You can't take Bruno off just because he didn't have nobody to work with like everybody else. He didn't have that. I can't. He showed up. He still was known. He's remembered. You know. But when you go with Hogan. Hogan had somebody to work with. You go with Stone Cold.
But
Stone
he was a
Cold
ball.
had somebody to work with.
But Hogan was a ball hog. So
He had somebody to work with.
I
He
don't
had
I don't
somebody he can hand it to.
I don't
Bruno
have
had no one.
I have the least respect for him because he just refused to put people over.
At the time,
Bruno.
yeah, he did.
So it's like it would have been different if he wasn't on his high horse. Rest in peace to him, but you don't really get too much credit for that.
But how many people that was really as over as Hogan in the Hulkamania era? It wasn't it
Man,
wasn't it wasn't that many that was on his level.
you could have gave it the Ultimate Warrior. You could have
They
gave it.
did. They did.
All
Do
right,
you remember
but
that?
that was later.
That was on time when they did it.
My point is, you making it seem like there was nobody.
Not on that level. No. If you remember, if anybody look at this and remember the Hulkamania era, it was no equal to that. Sorry, no, he had no equal. I mean, you had some threats. They were threats like Macho Man, and then they were a threat. But no, no, with his level was, yeah, it was too much.
Yeah, you fan, and that's what it is. You fanboying. That's all.
I'm just telling you what it was. And what I mean by that, I mean his drawing power. Like he drew more than them. That's just what it is. Stone Cold, you can make an argument, say, okay, he drew more, but you can't sit up here and say the Rock ain't put asses in these seats either. You can't say that about the Rock. The gap was a little closer with them than Hogan with them peoples. That's all I'm saying. It was a little closer.
You talking popularity contest. I'm talking.
Hey, I mean that's what the money is. That's how you get people to come. They don't want to see they don't want to see nobody that they not invested in. They don't want to see them. That's the
Well,
business. But I will agree with you. I think there's some people on the list that shouldn't have been on there. Of course, that's where every list. But your top five was decent. My top five was decent. You know, that's why I say those names right there. You can probably sort them out or switch them out or whatever. But yeah, but they deserve to be up there. Them people. Yep.
I'm not knocking nobody's list. To each his own. Um,
Oh, and Chris Jericho. You said Chris Jericho was on there?
Chris Jericho was like 17. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it back up real quick before we whatever. Uh, he's
I
at
don't know.
18. McFoley at 19. Jericho at 18. Punk at 17.
Mm,
Roddy
mm.
Piper at 13.
And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper, 13. And see, Roddy Piper Roddy Piper's one of them ones that was a household name though. You know, everybody knew who he was. Because he was a great talker. He had he had Piper's Pit, you know what I'm saying? He did the first WrestleMania, so he had a lot of moments without the belt. You know, nobody put Ricky the Dragon Steamboat on there. Nobody put Jake the Snake. But we knew who these peoples was. They just ain't never get that main belt. You know?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. You could have been one of them ones, and you ain't had to hold a title.
Yeah, so it was a lot of missed projects. I will agree.
I could have done so much with such little. Cesaro would have been a legend. Umaga would have been a legend. Bray Wyatt would be a legend. He would be on this list. I could have, if I was a creative, I would have made sure there's a few names I would have made sure they were always in the conversation. You wouldn't have been able to deny it. But everything is different now. Wrestling is not what it was. I'm not going to go down that road. We just sticking to this, of course. I ain't mad at your list.
I mean, do you got a top 10?
If I had to add on to that extra 5,
Yeah.
So starting from 6 to, all right. Let me see how I want to do this. I'm going to put Ultimate Warrior at 6.
At first,
I know.
Are you keeping Bruno, or he got to come down some more?
Bruno at 7. Ric Flair.
Ric Flair on this list?
Nah. He not even on here. That's crazy. One more. And I'm gonna say Kane. Fuck it. I'm gonna say Kane.
Hold on. Kane number 6?
Nah, Kane ain't on here at all.
So who you got at 6?
I just told you. Damn, I forgot already. I just said it though.
Is it Bruno or Warrior?
I said Warrior.
Okay. Then who
Then
you got
Bruno.
at 7?
I said I'm not going over the list again, bro. I said Warrior, Bruno. I said Kane, and I forgot that quick. Shit. That's why I don't like.
That's 8. So you got 2 more.
Flair, and then it was somebody else. Oh,
Savage?
Brock. Fuck it, Brock. Kane, Brock,
Put
Flair.
Brock at 10.
Kane,
You put Kane over Brock.
It's not an order. It's not a specific order. It's just I'm just naming people on the last 5.
He just numbers.
The numbers that I had was original. You want to be so specific, my nigga. It's not that deep. I just gave you my final 5.
You put Kane over Brock, though. Okay.
Yeah, I will. I definitely put Kane over Brock. That's only. It don't have
put, Big Show in there then.
Yeah, that's your list. You can do that.
Nah, that ain't my list.
Can't
I mean,
Big
and to
Big
be honest,
Show, Big
I don't
Show,
got none of them on my
no,
list.
Big Show didn't pull up to the Hell in the Cell making a debut and fucking Undertaker up. He didn't do that. He didn't make that debut with Paul Bear. Big Show, he was
Shit, but
cool and all, but
he took Undertaker ass to hell and put him through that ring though. If you remember that, it's just another moment. He
that
came in
that
Hell in a
moment
Cell. He
that
choke
moment
slammed
ain't
Undertaker ass through the ring.
bigger than that though.
But it's a moment.
Kane Kane debut ain't bigger than Big Show's debut. But drop your 10. I mean
Yeah, they both
your
well they both had a good debut. But ah okay. I got I got Reigns at 6. I got Orton at 7. I got Brock at 8, Michaels and Brett 9 and 10.
that's cool.
That's my list.
Of course.
You can always debate it, but it's what it is.
Yeah.
But one person I don't agree, and I said it. Triple H damn sure need to come. He deserved to be on the list. I'm not saying he shouldn't be. He shouldn't be on the list. He did enough to be on there, but he shouldn't be as high as he is. He ain't higher than them two that I named. He ain't higher than none of them people on that 10. His ass should be probably 15 or something like that.
Triple H a scumbag, man. You're a whole scumbag. Oh, I ain't.
But he got to be on the list, though.
He on
He
there,
did
but it's
enough.
like
He did enough
he
to
on
be on there.
he on there by default though.
Because what he did, he worked with the top people that's on the list. Like he worked with all of them, so he deserved to be on there just because. You know
Nigga,
what I'm saying?
if it wasn't for Stephanie, nigga, he wouldn't be where he at all.
Nah, if it wasn't for Vince, it's his company.
Yeah,
He
but
he allowed all the shit to happen. If it wasn't for him, he wouldn't have murdered. He wouldn't have had the career he had. None of that. Grandkids, all that, because of Vince.
I'm satisfied with mine. Shout out to the honorable mentions though.
Yeah, got to give him honorable mentions up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and some I'm gonna say some of them people that is on the list, that's on that list, I think o- over time, they just you know faded out. Some of the names, not all the names, but some of those names, the careers, even Macho Man. You know what I'm saying? He was up there, but over time, them people will fade out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, man. If you ain't got nothing else you want to say to the people, we can wrap this up. Uh,
Oh yeah,
I think this was a pretty good one.
yeah. It was a
The
good.
numbers,
It was a good list.
I want to know how they came up with that personally, because
I
I guess it's
mean,
always
they come out with lists all the time. To be honest, that was Sports Illustrated, but they come out with Bleacher Report come out with one. It ain't just them, so a couple of them come out and they drop these lists, and it just for good opinions, you know what I'm saying, in contrast. Like, you know, that's why I wanted to do it.
Well, shout outs. Again, happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there. I hope y'all have a blessed one. Be safe out here on this road if you got to be out there. Don't take your peoples for granted if you still got them around, your grandmothers and all that. Don't take them for granted. Love them a little extra. And I'll see you guys next week. Whole new lineup. Do me a solid before you go, though.
What's the goddamn button?
Peace.
Happy Mother's Day, and we got a Mother's Day preview coming up shortly.
The flow insane. Take my spot, so the range. Shoot my shot with perfect aim. Third degree, that perfect flame. Ain't no sleep, that's the game. Oh, so southern, that's the slang. When they see me, that's the main. Chasing checks and fly like planes. Big old stick, I bought a cane. Flick my wrist and bought the ring. I'm so boss, we're not the same. Paid the cost and kept the change. Now I'm walking Hall of Fame. And I reside in the cloud. Grand wishes with these bitches. Taking pictures.